We spend our lives chasing a sense of fulfillment, yet we often treat that pursuit like a joyless chore. We tighten our grip and brace ourselves, turning the search for a better life into a high-stakes mission where failure feels catastrophic. This was Sam. He was an eager student convinced that life was a puzzle with a missing piece, a grand, complex answer that would finally make his efforts worth it. He brought this desperation to Master Sito, a monk whose reputation for profound insight was only rivaled by his tendency to find the punchline in almost any situation. Sam assumed that the answer to his struggle must be equally heavy and profound. We often make the mistake of thinking that simple truths aren't strong enough to solve our complicated problems. Master Sito agreed to help Sam find what he was looking for, but first he required the completion of one specific, seemingly unrelated task. Sam had to find the largest watermelon in the village market, balance it on his head, and walk back to the master's hut without letting the fruit touch the ground once. Sam didn't see the humor in the request. He immediately treated this absurd errand as a solemn test of his character, a grueling obstacle he had to overcome to prove he deserved the monk's wisdom. He was operating under a common, exhausting logic that we must suffer through a heavy burden before we are allowed to experience a reward. The path back was anything but smooth. The village roads were deeply uneven, riddled with stones and sudden dips that threatened Sam's balance at every single turn. The sheer weight of the fruit pressed down on his spine. Every step required a conscious effort to keep the massive rind from sliding off his head. Sam's world shrunk until it was nothing but the weight. He became a statue of tension, paralyzed by the fear that one wrong move would lead to failure and ruin. As he struggled, the village came alive around him. To the neighbors, Sam was a hilarious spectacle. They clapped and cheered and made funny faces, finding genuine amusement in the sight of the overly serious student and his giant fruit. Sam refused to look at them. He believed that any acknowledgement of the fun, any break in his rigid concentration, would be his undoing. In his desperate focus on finishing the task, Sam had become completely deaf to the laughter and life happening right next to him. When Sam finally reached the hut, the watermelon was perfectly intact. He exhaled, his muscles trembling from the release of the physical strain. He stood before the master, expecting a profound lecture or the reveal of a hidden truth that would make his struggle meaningful. Instead, Master Sito took one look at Sam's stern, exhausted face and doubled over, laughing until he had to wipe his eyes. The monk explained that there was no hidden message. The act of carrying the watermelon was the teaching. Value lives in the spirit of the walk, not the arrival. Sito showed him that if the journey is miserable, the destination rarely provides the relief we expect. The watermelon is a stand-in for the pressures we all carry. Whether it's a career milestone or a family obligation, we often treat our responsibilities as heavy objects that require us to stop smiling until the work is done. Master Sito's approach uses a specific psychological balance. Success requires high external effort, but it stays sustainable only when it's countered by internal levity. Step 1 is to expect the bumps. Life will always provide jagged disruptions. Strength comes from a determination to keep moving with the load, rather than wasting energy wishing the path was flat. Step 2, detach from the drama of the struggle. When you feel the tension of hyper-focusing on a problem, consciously look for the absurdity in the moment. This wider perspective acts as a counterweight to the pressure. Step 3, use humor as a system reset. Recalling something genuinely funny sends a signal to your nervous system to drop the weight. It clears the accumulated stress and allows you to begin again from a clean baseline. Sam eventually learned to walk the village roads with a grin. He realized that his ambitions were much easier to carry when he stopped treating them like a life-or-death struggle. The most successful travelers find a way to maintain their wonder even when the load is heavy. The goal is to reach the end of the road with a smile that was there the whole time.